Hey, this is John from Stupid Robot Fighting League. After the video of Pete and I having a good old fashioned fisticuffs with the Scott John and GuyKit 2.0, I've come to two conclusions. The first conclusion is that we need to be able to make them heavier. Obviously not the arms as such, those were fairly taxing for Pete, and I want it to be something that is accessible to people of different strengths. So what I'm thinking is that when people build these out of junk instead of these wooden scraps, is that there needs to be a fair amount of flexibility, because they could have metal parts and stuff, and they could be quite restricted to how the arms and legs are built, and they could have like one heavy arm or one light neck and a heavy head or something like that. So what I'm going to do is firstly, actually let's switch gears. Let's talk about the height of the robot first. So obviously that is sort of where you want the robot standing. Okay, so that's fairly close to the top of his head, being at about level there, and his feet are pretty much touching the ground. You don't want him to have his legs entirely extended. You need some flexibility in order to kick. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is, instead of having the just back there, instead of having these being absolutely fixed to the head, I'm going to actually have maybe 2 screws and a wire hooked up to the top of the head, and that will hang over this part here, and it'll do 2 things. It'll actually, when you give the robot a wallop in the head, his head will spin a bit, so it will look a little bit more spectacular. But should your robot be a bit short for your setup with your headpiece and stuff, we can just adjust the robot's height by adjusting the wire. And because with Scott John, he's shorter than GuyKit, and I had him extended hard between my foot poles and the head pole a lot of the time, which means that he's tight like a guitar string, and I think that's some of the reasons why I lost some of his parts, because they're always under pressure. So instead of having these attached here, there'll be a wire that runs over there and attaches to the top of the head. The head will move freer. Okay, now going back to the counterweights. GuyKit is too heavy, and I was watching the video, and if you ever go back to the Proof of Concept 05, you'll see poor Pete getting strangled, and this bar here just flexing hard out, and that was fine and all, but it's what I want is it to be accessible to everybody and comfortable. So if we have a counterweight which keeps the robot pretty much, it'll need to be something that hangs up here, and if we hang up that above here somewhere, a counterweight with liquid in it, that means that we can adjust it. Say if this robot loses an arm or whatever, you can just pour out a bit more liquid out of that into another container, and then keep the robot pretty much at 0 weight. So all you're doing with the pole is steering the robot and not having to carry his weight on the strap that goes under your neck. So that's the 2 main points that I want to try to address tonight. But the reason I don't video my own face with this phone camera is because the audio is always out of sync with the video. So yeah, otherwise I would, so you could see my awesome beard. Anyway, so that's tonight's mission. Okay, so what I've done is I've put a cut long ways through this, and I don't know if anyone find this useful, but what I did was actually had the two bits of pipe sitting in here one by the other, and all I did was just keep the same angle with a Sharpie, and used one pipe to be a ruler for the other pipe to draw a fairly straight line. I mean, if you look at that, that's as straight as I need it. And then all I did was change the angle and use the other pipe to draw a line on the other one, and then eventually twisted them round so I could cut straight, straight from the top. Now I've cut this one here, and what's going to happen is that that's going to sit on top of here, and it's going to act like a track, a smooth track which rope can hang over the top of, so it won't be catching all the time on a sharp corner. So I'm envisaging that this will work, but there's nothing like trying it out. But I found that with the first cut that there's not enough material removed to comfortably slide it over here, so I'm going to have another pass with the cutting wheel. It's pretty messy, it's pretty smelly, so I'm going to put a rag over my face, safety first and all that. Right, so here we go. There's a split in the pipe which goes over this piece of timber here, which then runs all the way along, and so you've got your rope, which has counterweights, so that's 2 litres. So roughly 2 litres of water equals 2 kilos of weight, and you got one on either side which runs up and along, and this slides forward and back. Now this will probably need to be modded somehow. This may need to come outside or something like that, but what I'm really after at the moment is to prove the concept of once you take the weight off the helmet and put it on this rope here, and you still have the ability to push it back and forth, then we should get rid of a lot of our problems with the all the pressure under this this neck part. But anyway, yeah, I need to carry on before it gets dark, because I'm afraid of the dark. So as you can see, we've got the 2 tracks set up with the rope running there. You've got your counterweights on either side, so it acts a little bit like a trampoline, so it's always under tension. And you can see GuyKit 2.0's head there, and what I've done is I've put 2 screws in under there just to act as a catch, and so that holds the weight of the bar. Okay, so and what we've done is we've changed the mount of GuyKit's head so that it's free floating, so that if there's a height issue with either the operator, he's too tall or too short, or the robot has been made too tall and too short, that means that you can adjust the length of this wire to adjust. But also the other thing was that I noticed as we were punching the robots in the head, nothing much was happening, but now if you hit the robot off center, you will it will have more of a twist to the head, so that will be a little bit more visually spectacular. But what I did was I weighed GuyKit 2.0, and he was 5.5 kilos. So all I've done here is I've actually put that must be so that's 4 kilos either side, so we won't need that much weight. But at the moment the effect is interesting, because he is currently at pretty much wherever I put this, GuyKit will stay, so he's sort of at zero weight on the whole thing, so he'll stay wherever I put him. And so if we look at operating him from this, It's actually, one thing I have noticed is that we'll probably need to, because there's no weight on this anymore, we'll need to tighten this down so that we can get sideways pivot going on. We'll need a good supply of rope, that's for sure, because we'll wear the rope away, but we'll probably come up with something to ease the whether it be a bit of alkathene pipe or something, I'm not sure. But the sideways movement and the up and down is actually quite effortless now, and he just merrily sits at whatever weight, and the movement forward is not without labour, but really it's not too bad. But what I'll do is I'll get my GoPro and I'll have a bit of a play with GuyKit, and I'll put the helmet on and the shoes on and everything. I won't test Scott John. A, he's not hooked up yet, but B, he's still in disrepair. He hasn't had his arm and leg put back on.